Well, it all points in me to eat first, and this is why I signed on to the Holly bill to actually make sure the SNAP beneficiaries get paid. There's going to be a lot of Democrats that are going to say the same thing and going to hope that the Republicans will actually act in a responsible manner. Number two, we know Trump can actually allocate the money to do this. He has authority. There's money there to make sure that people are fed at least for a month before he into asking and seeking more funds. But we know who these people are. These Republicans are the same people that only a couple of months ago cut 60,000 Arizonans off from food stamps in order to pay for tax cuts for the ultra wealthy. So, what they're trying to do is hold one group of people hostage. They're very poor and needy, versus another group that is also needy. Many Americans, hundreds of thousands of Arizonans and millions of Americans that are just trying to make sure that they don't have their insurance premiums rocket overnight. There's a solution to this. It's a very simple solution. We can both open up government and also pass some moderate reforms that we could all agree to when it comes to the extension of these premiums to make sure people's insurance stays affordable.
And do you have any indication Republicans are interested in that right now?
Look, it's hard to tell. What I'm focusing on right now is the fact there's 24 million Americans that starting November 1st are going to have a very, very tough decision. Starting November 1st, they're going to have to make a decision. How are they going to make up for the fact that this president and the Republicans have doubled, almost on average, all of their premiums, their monthly premiums? You're talking about people that are going to go and now have to add $200, $300, $600, maybe $1,000 a month to their budget, trying to figure out how to keep basic health insurance. We know about 4 million of them are just going to not even buy it anymore. That is what I'm concerned about. That's what I'm focusing on. And right now, everything is so expensive, and these guys are just going to add an extra expense that is essentially, something that they're doing. They're voluntarily doing this for these 24 million American families. You don't have to be out there too much to see how expensive food is, how much electricity is, utilities are, and now the Republicans are going to be adding health insurance to that.
So I think my question is this. I take your point about these millions of people. The cost of living is incredibly high, but also Republicans control the White House, they control the Senate, they control the House. And in the past, Democrats, when Republicans have tried to do something like this, Democrats have argued that the norms of our government should be that you negotiate policy outside of a government shutdown. I have, over many years covering Washington, people have said that over and over and over again. And now I have neighbors in the DC area who are both employed by the federal government who are having to use food banks. We are heading into Thanksgiving. Why is it suddenly right to do it this way and to do it for this long when it didn't used to be the right way in Democrats' view?
Well, that's an easy answer. It's Donald Trump. You're talking about norms in the time of Donald Trump. It's also normal.
But the Democrats have spent so much time arguing about how maintaining those norms is actually incredibly important in the face of Donald Trump. It's all out the window. It's all out the window, Casey. No, when you're doing that time with Donald Trump, this is the man that is like extorting people. He's literally, breaking every rules. We're not going to go back and play by the norms when we know that what's on the line is 24 million people are going to have their insurance rates premiums doubled. That's a new thing, by the way. And the fact is, the president and everyone expects us to play by these norms. Didn't Democrats kind of set that up in the bill that you passed, though, that these subsidies were going to expire?
When we passed the bills and back in the day, it was part of the Inflation Reduction Act. Of course, we were trying to, maybe hope for the best that this country and our Republican colleagues would understand that raising insurance rates on people is a bad thing. I'm sorry they don't see it that way, but it's also not my job to make their job easier. My job is to make sure that the premiums of 24 million Americans does not double overnight. And if it makes it harder on the Republicans, that we're putting them in a very difficult position, that they have to answer for that, and hopefully it actually comes with a good outcome, which is America's not having to pay higher premiums, then that's good. But I'm not going to abide by old norms, especially when you're dealing with this presidency, this administration, and how the Republicans themselves have been acting.
Speaking of norms, the conversation we were having earlier, this is on a different topic from the shutdown. The president has entertained talk of him having a third term, selling Trump 2028 hats, and the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, said that he had a private conversation with the president about the constrictions of the Constitution. How seriously do you or don't you take the possibility of the president trying to have a third term in office?
I don't take it seriously because he will, be in violation of the Constitution, and he should be arrested if he attempts to do that.
Do you think he should be arrested if he attempts to have a third term in any way? At what point? I mean, if he talks about it, what constitutes doing that in your view?
If he files to run for presidency and attempts to run for elections, and then circumvents and ignores the rules, I think that would be a quick decision by the Supreme Court. Then at that point, once his presidency is up, when he is, supposed to be, out of office, he's a violation of the Constitution of the United States, and he should be arrested.
All right, Senator Ruben Gallego, thanks very much for spending some time with us today, sir. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, ahead here in the arena, we are watching for an updated forecast set to come in any minute on Hurricane Melissa. Our Bill Weir will be here to talk about just how this became one of the strongest storms ever, and also the sudden shift today from one of the most vocal and wealthiest climate activists.
I wonder now, when you look back, given that you're changing sort of the metric with which you use, do you say to yourself that the Paris Climate Accord and its goals were misplaced?
No, not at all.
Have I got news for you? New